Alright, so welcome back to another learn/use Django by creating an AlgoExpert clone. So today what we're going to do is recall that we temporarily, let's just say, finish this. Let's just say we finish this. For now, finish this code editor. At least we can prompt code and we'll check. So for example, if I'm just going to do a quick demonstration. Something like this. I'm just going to return 1, all the case, and then when I click on the check code, we should see it is possible syntax error. I don't think so. Okay, well that was unexpected. That's how it should work. Whoops. Alright. So wait, let me just double check. Okay, there's something wrong with my test for some reason. I hope I didn't push that commit, but if we check code again, okay, now you can see we passed the test case 1, and we didn't pass the rest of the test case, and then it should work. So now what we want to implement is when it passed all the test case. For example, when it passed all the test case. So what we can do now is essentially now we will go ahead and whenever user does that, whenever user click, and then also notice I also implement the submit code button. We implement submit code, and then you will see this is actually how we'll AlgoExpert output this. If you submit the code, and it will say you didn't pass at least 1 test. Click on the run code button to check your output, and then if it finished, then we will say is probably. Yeah, I'm going to add something really quick. Just thought about that. And then we'll just say, congratulations on completing this. Stuff like that. And then we'll say var. So let me go and switch the screen really quick. And then here I'm going to create a new variable. I'll just call this var past. And I'll call this false. I call this true. True. Then if it's says, then we'll say past false. And then we'll say if is equals to false. And then I'm going to say output.inner HTML. And then h1 style color is green. And then say congratulations on finishing this problem. And then what I could say now is get the correct example of. I will go ahead and get the correct example of this problem, which let me just go ahead and take a look. So I will go ahead and get the correct example for that. Actually, it's right here. I think there probably is something wrong with this example. I actually don't quite understand Fibonacci, how Fibonacci works. Like, there's different way to do. This is like one way. You have different ways, but we will just use this. If it's not correct, please let me know, and I will fix that. And let's go ahead and go to our page again. In here. And now if we go ahead and paste the code in here, this is the correct implementation. Check code. Oh, did it not pass? Correct fib. It's unsfib. Alright, so now if I say submit code, and then didn't see any output at all for some reason, I'm just gonna do some quick click fix. Pass. Wait. What? So there probably is a lot of problem going to create when we dealing with like these the code editor functionality. All right, yeah, so now it works. Congratulations on finishing this problem. All right, I don't know, can you guys see it? But I said congratulations on finishing this problem. So now what we'll do is first we'll go create a new model. All right, so now we'll go back with coding. So today we're going to do two things. One is create a model that will keep track, that will basically save the user's response when they send a request. So they will save the user's response and then into the database. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, and then we're going to figure out how to do that. So first of all, let's go to models first. And then in here we're going to create let's see. We'll go to create, let's say just one model for now. We say class code, and then this will inherit models.model. And now what basically this field should have is this should have a user ID, right? And then what problem you're on, and then their actual code. So this is first thing we implement. The second thing we implement is called class progress. This basically keep track of what progress it made. So like did they actually solve a problem? So it's a models.model, and then this will keep track of this will keep track of user ID, problem, and then solved, which is either going to be, so this will only going to insert if it's passed. So it's a passed, and then yeah. So we'll probably going to implement this class later with. I'm going to comment that out with the questions API, which we're going to do in next video. And then here, let's go get started by defining the first class we're going to implement. So let's go create a user ID equals model dot integer field. I could do one-on-one with the user. Dot integer field, and then yeah, this is the user ID, and then we also need problem ID, models.integer field again, and then we also need codes. So code's going to equals to the text, going to equals models.text field. So basically this is going to allow us for like infinite max lengths. And then that's basically it of model we're going to implement. So let me go ahead and make migrations. And then let's go apply these migrations. All right, looks good. Now what we can do is now we can go back to views, and then this will not be autosave, although we could implement that using some Ajax, but it's not going to be autosave. Instead, it's going to be in here, so whenever a user does something, we'll go ahead and push it to the database or update this. And then, so now what we can say is from .model import code. And then now we can say is in here, so we don't need to save the response. We just need to make sure we can save this to the database, and then later we will go ahead append this. So we can say now run code. Let's say should we do, okay, so code equals to new code, and then in here probably we'll say user ID equals to request.user.id. I'm not sure whether this works, so for now I would just go to, I will try to go ahead and do this. So I won't get the user ID, but I'm not sure that how you get the user ID. Is that user ID or just ID? I don't know. So I'm gonna, in here, what we're going to say is, I still didn't figure out this part, by the way. And then let's go ahead and go to the index route, because now I added into Django so we can see, and I will go ahead and log in if I haven't. So let me go ahead and take a look. Oh yeah, so that's actually how we got it. So like in here, oh god, you guys cannot see it. So now you can see there's a tiny 1. I don't know, can you guys actually see this, but oh yeah, I forgot to. Let me do a transition again. So now you can see there's a tiny little 1 there, and then this is like the user ID. Yay, so I can actually get the user ID in the way like that. Now let's go back to our code, and oh shoot, and in views, right? Yeah. So this is user ID, and then problem. We'll go at user problem again, and then problem ID. Problem ID equals to problem, and code equals code. Equals code. Okay. So, and now we can say code.save. So you can save it into the database. And now what we could do is we're going to update this route so the user must have a specific problem ID they want to solve. So in URL, we're going to go ahead and update the urls.py in urls.py in code editor. And then instead of saying this, what we're also going to do is this is going to take in a request. We're going to call this an int. problem ID, and then in views here, we'll say here is the problem ID, and then for now, this will be the same thing, return problem ID here, and then this will, yes, now we'll go ahead and pass the problem ID as well. And now, let's go to index here, and then problem ID equals to 1. So just gonna hard code that for now, and then yeah. Alright, so now let's go ahead and try again. So let's see. So now I can say slash problems slash 1. Index got an unexpected argument. Problem ID. Okay, so there's probably some bug in my code. That's weird. I don't know what's that supposed to mean as well. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so let me take a look. I should change. Let me take a look. Refresh this page again. Wait, what? I don't get this. I'm just gonna restart the server. Okay. Okay, now it works magically. So I just restarted the server. I'll let you show what I did. And then now what we could do is, oh, whoops. Sorry guys, sorry about that. Okay, so the reason I'm speaking so slowly right now is because I'm really thinking what I should do. And then here, what we're going to do is gonna assume users log in, which if they didn't, we're gonna even try the login required decorator at the top. And then, but for now, we'll just say code exists. We'll say existing. Code equals to code.objects that get, we'll say user ID equals to session equals to request dot user dot ID problem equals to problem ID, and yeah, so we're gonna pass this as a context. Whoops, I don't know, you guys cannot see it. So Yep, so this is what I did. So it's the existing code, objects, user ID, problem ID, and then here I can say exist, complete existing codes here. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh this page and see how it works. Alright, it looks like it already refreshed. Alright, got a type error. Cannot resolve keyword problem to field. Choices are code ID, problem ID, user ID. Okay. Yeah, because I forgot to say problem ID. Here. Okay, I forgot to switch the screen. Sometimes it's a little bit. So this is the error. Just fix that. Take a look. Does not exist. Code match such a query does not exist. Okay, so we'll say try. So now we'll go add a try except. In here, so we will say try except. We're just going to return without the context. So we'll just say render request code editor / index.html. Okay. So basically, we just return the index, the HTML, if it doesn't exist. All right, but if it does exist, so let's say something like define. So okay, so what I also will do before I actually try this out is in the index.html, what we'll do. Actually, no, not this main file, but in the code editor, here, what we'll say is we'll go ahead and put that in the code. Where is the code here? So I will go ahead and say code. Wait, what's the name again? Exist. So exist. Put it here, and then now let me go and try again. So let me go ahead and now let's go ahead and try to see what this works. So define nsfib and return 1. Check code. Whoops, there's an error. Alright, so that's mean there's 500 error. Let me take a look off terminal. Okay, so it said multi-value dict error problem. Alright, yeah, so I didn't pass a problem now. I do need to wait, what? I thought I did pass a problem. That's weird. Let me do some just a second. Let me do some debug. Yeah, I don't pass the value here. So it is like problem. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with this. I'm just gonna hard code the problem to 1. That should solve the issue, whatever we have. Whatever issue we got, and then let's just basically change it to 1. Don't even need to refresh. And fib and turn and some dummy code there, and then yeah, if I could, so you can see it's not mobile responsive. Check code. Whoops, there's an error. Let's see what there's error is. Okay, so what's this? Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, so what's happening here now is there's a variable collision. I didn't realize that. So you can see now the code is request.get code, but then I redefine the code to here, thus it cannot be written. So, but the code already exists, which I could say, I'm just gonna add an underscore. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. And then, but now what should be happening is when I visit this page again, it should see, okay, the code object's 1. Okay, so it does show something there because we do have the code now, and then what we should say is we need to, it's not exist. We don't have star user 90, so say exist dot code, and then whoops, I forgot to show that actually. So I basically just said exist.code instead of just exist, which now it should give code. Oh yeah, nice. So see, now we actually get the code that is supposed to store and show us here. And now the last thing we need to do is what happened when, so now what we need to do is so we need to rewritten. So we're not going to like save it multiple times. We're only going to save 1 time per user per problem. So if they changed it, what's going to happen is we're not going to save for them. We're not going to save for them. So, but this is like we don't have like update. So we'll first check does it exist. If not exist, then go ahead create. Otherwise, we'll go ahead update. So what's going to happen here is we'll say try let's see, try existing code equals codes.object. Stuff is the same problem. And yeah, and then this is exist code. If it does exist, then we will, if it doesn't exist, then we'll go ahead and do these two. But if it does exist and we want to update it, this existing code, you can say existing code equals code.objects dot get dot filter actually. So dot filter pk primary key. We don't need that. We can say user ID session using session request.user.id, and then problem ID is going to be problem. And then so this is like ORM, object relational mapping, or SQL alchemy stuff, but it's a little bit able to understand. So this basically get the code, and then we are going to use update property on this. Basically just update this, and then we can say code. Now equals to the new code we get. And then probably gonna say existing code dot save. Alright, so let's take a look. Can we do this? Whoops. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look, see if it works. So it doesn't so what I'm trying to do, in case you don't understand, is basically I'm trying to don't let this store multiple codes. So when before it's when user hit this check, it's going to insert a row, and then what's going to happen, it's going to have multiple every time's result. We don't want that, at least not now. So what we will do is check whether it exists or not. If it does exist, we can update. Otherwise, we're gonna create a new code object and save it to the database. So let's go ahead and try this out. See will this work. Alright, so what I will do now is return n plus 1 instead of n. And then check code. Alright, I failed the test. Not surprised. But if I try to refresh now, what should give us is, whoops, nothing. Why it gives us nothing? This is weird. I don't know why this gives us nothing. It should give us something. Let me go ahead and take a look at this database for a sec. So let's, oh shoot. This is code editor. Then, all right. So let me go and share the screen again. So now you can see I'm trying to check the database. See, is there anything we can use there? I'm probably gonna open the DB browser for SQLite just to take a look what's happening here. I want to make sure. I don't know. Does it get update or what's happened to it? AlgoExpert clone. Alright, so it showed up. I'm going to try to do some debugging. They're just, oh my god, Django creates so many tables for me. Code editor. Okay. Okay, so that means there's some error occurred that I don't know of. So there's some error occurred. And then because this still entry 2 times but updated, that means there's some error. So now since I know the code will definitely work. So let me go and comment this line out. So since I know I have a code, then let's try again. Let's take a look. So now let me show. So now I will go ahead and change something. My browser. Okay, let's see. syntax. This is like the last video we're gonna do with the code compiler anyway, so I guess it's fine. Now I say define fib and define dummy function. Let's see, check code. Whoops, there's an error. Alright, so we got there's error. That's actually good because that's what I expected. Int object has no attribute, save. What? Okay, we probably don't do this at all. Alright, so what I did is I removed the existing code.save. We'll see will that work. Whoops. And then let's try again. Okay, at least this time it passed. So it didn't show me like there's an error. Okay, it still shows absolutely nothing, but I mean it should show something. Okay, let me try again, see if this works. I edit something manually in the database. I removed a duplicated row. No, it still doesn't work. Okay, I don't know why this still doesn't work. Didn't thought this would be that hard. Okay, let's see. So let me take a look. Where is this? Okay, so I'm just going to try debug now. Should I quit the server and try again? I highly think so. Does not print out anything. I'm just going to quit the server and try again. Something that actually works, but we'll see. Unless I log out, which I don't think so. Yeah, I didn't log out. Why this thing doesn't work? Why this thing doesn't work? User ID is 1, problem ID is 1. Let me just submit hi here. Check code. Okay, that's passed. There's so many bugs we need to fix actually. Just remove all these. And then let me try again. I don't know why there's so many. error raised? What? Okay, you know what? You know what? I would try to restart the database. Okay, so that's a long video now. I don't know what's happened. I don't know why this thing doesn't save. I wanted to be able to save. Maybe not auto-save for now. Just like save when the user click on the button. But why that doesn't work. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want me to make more contents. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.